Hey, what's going on, guys? This is yours truly, Truth Seeker, coming back at you with another episode on Truth Seeker Nation. Good soul, I hope you've been bearing with me with the hour-long podcast. Alright, you might as well call them podcasts at this point because you just, sitting here with me and listening to me just talk. Alright, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen, man. Because, it's a lot of important information, guys. A lot of important information that's going to really elevate you at the soul level, make you snap out of this hypnosis that Lucifer has everybody in. I'm just going to straight out just be honest with you. And again, a lot of you individuals may be listening to me thinking that this guy is back in the psycho nutter territory. Hey, you know what? Good soul. If you turn off right now, I hope you have a great day. You don't want to go any further. That's great. I hope you have a wonderful day. But if you do choose to stay, we'll get into a little bit on what I mean by that. And if you've been following me up to this point, you may already have kind of a good idea on what some of the topics that we cover on this channel. My video that we released on Monday yesterday, we were talking a little bit about technology and how technology, kind of plays a part in Father's kingdom. What a lot of people may ask, do video games and everything go in that category too? Well, good soul. Let's find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Just kidding. No, but seriously though, guys. No, we talk. I mean, we talk about a lot of diverse topics, and a lot of this shit, I am going to just straight up tell you, is hard to hear. Okay, again, I mean, good soul, as we connect to one another through this screen. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. All right, because we talk a lot about the McDonald's and the hamburgers and everything else, right? So let me ask you something on a deep level, right? Now, if you've ever had any kind of fast food and you tasted it, right? That shit tastes pretty good, obviously, or else it wouldn't be a lot of fast food restaurants all over the place, right? So when you ask yourself, when you see that big juicy baconator on that screen, ask yourself, do you want it to? Is it a lot of things that may block your path on realizing that kind of food is really healthy for you, or I'm sorry, realizing that it's horrible for you? Okay. um and really, when you just dive into that question alone, it begs a lot of questions, you know what I mean? Because it really gets you asking, damn, dude, it's been 20 something years now and I've been eating this shit my whole life. Hey man, listen, I get it. This shit is it's not easy to reverse that shit, man, because again, guys, you always got to take into the possibility they know what they're doing when they make this food to keep drawing you in. It's the same thing on a different perspective. Let's look at it from what we talked about yesterday with the wings, okay? It looks so appetizing on the commercials, right? But it's not really what it is. It's always to draw you in. Guys, when you look on those commercials, you see it's eye-watering. It's all like drooling, man. It makes you just want to take a bite out of the TV, okay? And listen, it's those things you have to like take that scenario and apply it to other things. All right, you eat this food, it keeps you coming back. And over time, you've been eating this shit for 20 plus years, and and that stuff tasting good. You don't want it to. You don't want it to. You don't want to hear the truth about it being really bad for you, and what that stuff is going to ultimately cause 30, 40, or 50 plus years down the lifespan. Not that you're gonna grab a baconator and die tomorrow. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the long term. You know what I mean? And that's what some of the stuff that we talk about on this channel, you know. But back to technology, you know, because that's why I mentioned the UK app and where it stems and where how technology can be used in that great positive way. You know what I mean? Now let's say we touch on some of the topics that we touched on yesterday's video, technology and Father's Wonderful Kingdom, right? And we touched on it and we talk about how Elon Musk Neuralink has no place in Father's Kingdom because the individuals behind that kind of technology don't have Father's creation deep and close within their heart. Okay? I'm just going to be honest with you straight up. They are all about making Lucifer's currency versus how can we benefit Father's creation today. You know what I mean? And when we look at it from that perspective, guys, and what we talked about and how some of these things can be used in a really extremely negative way. And just because somebody's not going to advertise that they're using something in a negative way doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And that's why you got to stay vigilant, man. It's almost like avoiding a car salesman talk you into getting something or buying something, or any kind of salesman getting you into something you don't need. Okay? You know, they try to make it out to this heroic thing of like, you know, helping out quadriplegics and all this other stuff, man. And look, all that stuff on the surface sounds great. Why not take a soul's opportunity and like revive their life with some kind of miraculous technology that could help them on their travels and help them recover from an accident, right? It sounds extremely wonderful. But unfortunately, guys, you gotta remember some of the top guys we talk about here and some of the guys that these motherfuckers will work through to do some extreme damage to Father's creation too. You guys have to keep that in mind and keep your mind open to this stuff and look at the signs, man. These guys aren't gonna, you know, these guys aren't just gonna outright tell you, hey, you know, they plaster it in your face, but they're not gonna straight up tell you what they're actually doing with some of the technology. You may already see what they're doing with some of the technology that you may be holding in your hand right now or whatever you're watching this through this screen on. You know what I mean? Some of the things that's already deeply integrated, you know, recording and you know, cameras recording, taking your personal data. Notice if you start talking about something around your smartphone, that thing will start populating with stuff around what you talked about. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's already going on. You know what I mean? It's just those little subtle signs you got to pay attention to, you know? And truly, good soul, I say to you to be careful when it comes to some of this stuff because not a lot of people have, you know, Father's creation close to their heart in ways that are going to truly benefit. You know what I mean? These guys see an individual as another number, you know what I mean, to take advantage of and to make more money off of. You know what I mean? And guys, when you also look at it from this perspective, a lot of these things that we talk about on this channel, you ask yourself, if you ever stop yourself and you get like an uncomfortable feeling, or you say there's no way, You know, always keep in mind, again, what we talked about of how there's always a way. You know what I mean? And these individuals aren't going to plaster in your face that there's a way. You know what I mean? They are not going to tell you exactly what they are doing when it comes to inserting chips into the human brain. Okay, guys? And that's all, man. I'm just telling you guys to be aware of it. Stay vigilant of a lot of this crap going on. You know what I mean? And guys, I'm just gonna be straight, flat out honest with you, because we're just we set everything on the table. We don't hesitate, okay? A lot of technology, too. You know what I mean? A lot of technology is used to cause this Luciferian hypnosis. You know what I mean? And the whole thing behind that, guys, is that, when we talk about Lucifer and Samael on this channel, we make sure to be very clear about deceit, okay, and what it is. And guys, always, when I say keep your mind open, I mean keep your mind open to the fact of how deep some of this deceitfulness and lies can go. It's very hard to convince one that they've been deceived when they've been repeated the same garbage that passed down through generations for 70 plus years. Even further than that, man. So you gotta take that and keep that in consideration. Just keep your mind open. I know there's a lot of things in this world, man, that, it'll cause people to just not believe in Lucifer or not believe in God. You know what I mean? Or not just believe that there's no other greater powers here on Father's beautifully created, wonderful, intelligently designed planet. They don't want you to believe that there's any kind of outside forces. Okay? Lucifer would love nothing more for you to have the mindset of, oh, fuck. Oh, okay, hold on. Of course he wants you to have the mindset of, oh, fuck, and, panicking, right? But let's rewind it to Flat Earth and talk about Mr. David Weiss again, okay? So, with individuals like David Weiss, one of the faces of Flat Earth, if you delve down into it, one of the biggest perpetuators of negating Father's beautiful creation, this guy is one of the main, the thing is, guys, these people will have you running around in circles, okay? Left and right, even as we speak, okay? Certain individuals do not want me getting this information out, okay? You're exposed. I understand and I see very well what's going on here, okay? Even as we speak, ladies and gentlemen, as we're on this episode, you have individuals in the background that serve Lucifer, that are trying to stop this message from getting out. And it's truly a shame. If you notice, I'm getting extremely jumbled. See, guys, these guys don't want this information getting out because they ultimately don't want people to know that they exist, okay? Guys, if you've ever seen the quote of one of the biggest deceptions that the devil has is convincing you that he doesn't even exist, right? is that a reasonable conclusion, right? If you wanted to puppeteer evil in the background, would you not convince somebody that they don't exist so you can just continue perpetuating evil and doing evil and just kick back with your shades on all day? Would that make sense? Just ask yourself that question if you don't believe that there's any kind of other forces out there, right? That's all you gotta ask. Again, guys, you know, and again, it may start getting dark in here, so we may turn some lights on to brighten up the beautiful face so we can get it all on the screen there. Share, that soul to soul connection, right? And here's the thing, guys. If you tune in to True Secret Nation, I truly appreciate your time and you listening to what I'm saying, man, because again, it's a lot of heavy topics here, man. A lot of you individuals, man, you may look at this and hear this. If you even see me anywhere in real life, if you know me in the past, you may be thinking, wow, what is this? You know what I mean? And again, it's one of those things where you truly never know someone. You know what I mean? This is why it's so important to see another soul. You don't know what somebody's going through. You know what I mean? It's all about sharing the love, spreading the love and doing all these positive things with love that you can do to uplift somebody else's spirit. Instead of sitting behind the scenes trying to convince people that the occult doesn't exist, so you can continue perpetuating and doing your evil behind the scenes without anybody realizing what you're doing. Now, guys, we've mentioned witchcraft here, guys. And unfortunately, here at True Secret Nation, there's still some individuals that are crafting just so far away in the opposite direction, man. The crafting, and the crafting. See, guys, another thing you guys got to be careful is some of these individuals that go around that try to join and join these organizations, join these covens, and to learn all about deep into the psychological mind on how to screw somebody over to perfect their craft. Okay? And this is ultimately what they want to do, because these individuals do exist, guys. You may thinking that this guy's another territory. But, let's back it back down to reality, okay? Because here at True Secret Nation, we talk about motherfuckers out there weighing, alright? The same way motherfuckers out there crafting in the background behind stone walls and shit, trying to throw sticks and stones at a steel fortress that continuously trying to stop positive news from getting out to other good souls that need to hear the voice of the voiceless. You know what I mean? And see, you always got to take into consideration, guys. It's the same thing of what some of these individuals and hi, bright and beautiful. That is one of the things that these Masonic-owned multimedia platform, Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms like to push. And you may be wondering what I'm saying and what is he talking about? Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I point all eyes on MSNBC, CBS, your typical mainstream media, which is why I say you guys gotta curb it on the media. Just don't believe everything you're hearing on the media. And the problem is, guys, it's really hard to break the fact that it's hard not to be able to believe anything on the media because these Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms have mastered their craft of psychological manipulation in feeding you little bits of truth to gain your trust. Then when it comes to something major like 9/11, in which they gas the entire American population into based on rage and fear of terrorism as an excuse for the war to be waged across the Middle East and suffering and chaos still to this day. They want you to accept those kind of narratives, and then when you dig into those narratives, they are quick to tell you, oh yeah, you shouldn't be asking questions, you need to move on. When in fact, there is no moving on that needs to be done, because right there you already see the fucking problem. The people that are, the major top guys that own these Masonic multimedia propaganda platforms. Okay. And they're everywhere, guys. There's a reason why multimedia is thrown in there, because it's on multiple forms of media. It's on the internet, they're on websites, it's on, television, there's the media, it's everywhere. It's on Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere, man. Even on this, you probably watching me from YouTube. YouTube is, I'm just going to be straight up honest. YouTube is it leads all the way back up, it leads all the way back up to a Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform. Because, guys, look at what's going on. Doctors are forced to word and dance around, play these fucking Bugs Bunny, games all day, hiding from Elmer Fudd, just to get out that something that's being distributed across the globe is not safe and needs more testing. Why is that being censored? Why is why do you have it that some of these sites report now that even if you guys go on the Telegraph, if you live in the UK, Telegraph, Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform. Do we still have it pulled up? I almost want to check to see if we still have it pulled up. Because it was basically saying that COVID jabs may have been the cause for some vaccine deaths after the fact. Now, when 2 to 3 years ago they were saying that the unvaccinated was the problem, they were saying all of this stuff, all of this fear and heavy pressure for you to get this jab, that both Trump and Biden advocated for, which, keep in mind, both of them are pushing that to millions of Americans. Okay. When doctors are saying that that is not safe, man. If you're even seeing this, and you happen to come across this, good soul, I hope you have. But it's pretty hard sometimes to, run into the truth on this platform. I'm gonna be honest. There's ways you can get it out there, but I'm telling you, man, they don't make it easy. But unfortunately, on this Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform, it is the most widespread one. You know what I mean? It's the one with a lot of eyes on. A lot of people know YouTube. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other ones. But see, I do feel in this case that YouTube can be the center plant of the tree there. Because once you get the brain sparked on one of the biggest, on one of their biggest own platforms, all that'll do is just spark you to go down to some of these other platforms and start looking for the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that's, necessary in this case, man. And it's up to you, the individual, if you want answers, man. If you delved into it and draw close to Heavenly Father, I guarantee you, you will receive. Ask and ye shall receive. Alright? And don't be scared. You know what I mean? Despite all of this stuff that we talk about, it is pretty scary. But trust me, good soul, you stand by, stay steadfast and strong, and you will be able to persevere all of these negative roadblocks that Lucifer himself will place in your pathway, and this fog and all of these roadblocks and barriers you'll encounter to stop from coming from to Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? So that's why it's always a good thing to keep your mind open. You know, really, dig deep into stuff. You'll start seeing that a lot of these major events that happen in our lifetime, start questioning some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Because like as I said in my last video, one of our biggest mottos here on True Secret Nation, each and every day, is that politics is a fucking waste of time. It's the whole reason why they want you ensnared in this trap. This is why I'm talking to personally the hardcore Trumpers too, man, because, and again, a lot of you people that are in, if you're in the Biden, you're probably gonna say, or I'm sorry, if you're a Trumper, you're probably gonna say, oh, he's for Biden. Here at True Secret Nation, we make it very clear that both of them are pieces of shit. All right, of what's really going on and they're both Masonic puppets. Okay, we are not picking sides here. That's the whole thing. These individuals want you to pick a side. Okay, individuals, I mean, Lucifer and Samael, they want you to just pick one of those sides in those categories of either Trump or Biden. And they want you to be in this eternal pissed off state of back and forth fuck yous for 24 hours and not receive any kind of results and meaningful discussion. You know what I mean? Instead of just getting to the point and at the very top, the same motherfuckers that are saying drain the swamp. Alright, so let's go ahead and dig into the details about drain the swamp. Alright. So it ties back down into technology because Mr. Trump himself uses and advocates for Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms, even though he talks about being silenced. Okay, so let's inch by inch, step by step, let's break it down on what drain the swamp is. Alright. And we're just going to get down to the nitty gritty, slap it right on the table. What your homie is talking about with drain the swamp, he's talking about the American people. You guys got to wake up, man. This guy has been draining the swamp. Draining American people out of their taxpayers' money. And then you see fucking emails with Barack Obama spending $65,000 of taxpayers' money talking about flying pizza and hot dogs. Listen, homies, good homies skillet biscuits, that is something that you need to wake up and see. There is going to be no draining of the swamp as you know it. Okay, he's a shafter. He's a shyster. The guy was behind 9/11. He played a part in it, man. It's all about, it's draining the swamp. Draining the American people. From his eyes, this is a swamp. He doesn't give a fuck about the individual. He doesn't give a fuck about the American people, man. He doesn't give a flying fuck about the American people. Now let's transfer over to Mr. Biden. We already talked about Mr. President of the land of the free, talking about it's not a matter of personal choice when there's doctors being silenced on Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms that they can't even get their voices out. But he says it's not a matter of personal choice. So that's all you guys need to hear. if you guys are needing the definitive line on why we at True Secret Nation are a big advocate on why politics is a fucking waste of time, all you gotta look is at the vaccine. You see both of them pushing that, that should be the siren right there. Hey man, this is out of the politics. It doesn't matter what's going on in the puppet show. You may think that Trump is, they're trying to silence him with all this money. They got this hush money stuff. Hey man, look, again, it's very, you got to keep your mind open to don't ever say there's no way, okay? But just keep in mind that Freemasons would love to do things in the shadows, to do things, play both hero and villain. Captain Save a Hole, present a villain scenario, and then at the same time putting on the superhero cape and swooping in the villain scenario that they have crafted. Okay? Good soul, that's all I'm saying is to keep your mind open to that. And just keep your mind open. You know what I mean? If you looking really sharp and use your discernment, you will be able to spot these Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms, because that's what they are. We say multimedia. We've already explained why multimedia is thrown in there. Propaganda. Guys, propaganda has been going on ever since the early last century. Okay, this is not a new thing. It may be just in different forms. It's in multimedia. Back in the beginning of the last century, I'm pretty sure it's different. It looked different, okay, but it's still the same. All right, it's propaganda. Okay. Just like the Uncle Sam, we need you, all that bullshit, that's all propaganda, man. And ultimately is what they're preparing you for. And what you guys got to keep in mind, you know, they got it all plastered in your mind that communism is all Russia and China, right? But listen, man, it's again, it ties all the way back to the Freemasons on how they have a hand in a play in everything, man. And ultimately, we already talked about the top guys, game above your head, Mr. Lucifer himself, okay, and Samael, that are working. Okay. But again, it's really hard to dissect all that. You got to take it slow when you work your way all the way to the very top until you get to the top guys. We just always make sure to let you know ultimately where it's going to lead to is the top guys that we talk about on this channel. You can do it inch by inch, step by step. It's going to add up. And you start, and especially guys, if you look at it in the 9/11, you're going to see the crafty and the snake deception. You can see it inch by inch. And then you keep working your way up, man, until you spend your time and you eventually work back up and you're going to tie back down to Freemasonry. And then, what do Freemasons believe? We talk a lot about Aleister Crowley, okay? One of those puddles to avoid. You know what I mean? One of those snags that you don't want to get snagged on. And that's all we talk about here, guys. We, here at True Secret Nation, really encourage deep within your soul to look beyond. Look beyond, man. Don't let Trump and Biden be the last stops, man. Don't let that get in the way. Because they want you to be in this endless bicker. In this like, oh, fuck the Democrats. And the Democrats, fuck the Republicans. Or the conservatives in the middle. Fuck the conservatives. It's this, listen, guys. At the end of the day, it's the devil's hamster wheel. Don't it's not about picking no side, man. Because guess what? If you don't pick a side, then you're going to be the enemy. They want you to pick a side. They want you to be in that bickering. They want you to pick a side to say fuck you and point your fuck yous to that category. Okay, this is why you got good souls out there that's preaching about, Jesus himself saying and talking about the childlike spirit. Okay, because it's something that he talks about and that he advocates for, and it's a very real thing. You know what I mean? And really, when we get down to the nitty gritty and we talk about that childlike spirit, you know, listen, man, you got to think about it. Do you think that the Prince of Destruction and Lord of Hell is going to want you to sit back and chill and smile and embrace that childlike spirit? Does that make sense? You ask yourself that question. All right. I don't care how you may have thought the devil was or whatever. Just whatever you believe in. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? Nah, man. Okay. He's not gonna want you to embrace that childlike spirit. He don't want nobody laughing and giggling. This is why this personal craft of Lucifer, right out of Lucifer's ass, is the FDA. Okay. Look, man. Food and Drug Administration. This is all part of the Babylonian system that Lucifer, at the end of the day, has the last say. And do you really think that, like, Father's creation is gonna be took in mind when it comes to this dude's currency? Because we already talked about it, man. We already talked about how what's really going on here. And see, the thing is, man, of course, your boy over here and yours truly is going to have a lot of evil eyes and a lot of saltiness being looked at towards this way. Because, look, motherfuckers don't want this shit to be getting out. I'm just going to be real with you. Because people benefit from this stuff, man. They benefit in the shadows, bro. You think it's a fucking joke, but it's not, man. That's why it's time to wake up, man. This is why we just put it on the table for you, and there it is. But again, it's more to it than just saying wake up. But that's what it gets weaved in there, because ultimately that's what we're trying to do here at True Seeker Nation. We're talking about the ins and outs of the Babylonian system on this craft and deception that Lucifer has in this little snow globe going on, in this little fucking deception of Lucifer don't get an option Fantasyland. Okay. And one of my favorite songs just came on, right? We always associate, like, just to give you guys a good, it's the song that plays when Quicksilver's, coming and saving everybody in the mansion, Just look around, just look that up. It's one of our favorite songs here. But, that's the thing, guys. It's all about just being vigilant of this stuff, man. And technology, the thing is that it plays a major part in that, just another tool that is being used to advance Lucifer's psychological attack on Father's creation. Okay, if we're looking at it from the very top in the game above our heads, that's what we're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen. You can look at it from any other way you want, as a perspective of the Matrix, or whether that be, however way you want to look at it, man. But guys, we come to the we have all the evidence on the table there. We got Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms that are silencing doctors. We got the Masonic-owned food companies that are injecting this poison into food that millions of Americans are buying on a daily basis. Not only to mention there's people across the world that buy stuff that is being distributed, and stuff that is being inserted into food that people aren't aware of. Okay. Because of the blind trust that's going on here. And again, guys, it's back to what I said about it's hard to break away from media sometimes, man, because it's one of those things where you're fed and you're used to getting your information from that your whole entire life. Okay, guys, there's a really good Star Trek episode that I want you to check out. It's called Star Trek. It's from Star Trek Enterprise, and I know you may not like it. You may not like Enterprise, but curb that for a second. Just check out that episode of Terra Nova. Really, when you look into the psychology and you dig into the psychology behind that episode, and know and how difficult it was for those people in that episode to accept the truth, you can really dig deep and apply that to Father's creation in real time on this psychological attack by these Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platforms that are plastered all over, that are the dictators of what misinformation is and isn't. And the same ones that point out crazy, wild, ridiculous, out of this universe conspiracy theories. Look, guys, if I was trying to push a narrative that I wanted people to like StarCraft, you would think that one would put as much propaganda out there hyping it. Hey, you gotta like StarCraft. That's the goal. Alright. But then you got people that obviously don't like StarCraft. Oh, well, nah, the agenda here is we push it and we gotta like StarCraft here, partner. There's no disagreeing. Here, you get silenced and shoved in the corner because nobody else can hear your opinion. It's always got to be yes to StarCraft. You see what I'm saying there? You see what I'm getting at? And that's ultimately what this New World Order is about. You guys will hear it about, and you'll just gloss past your eyes and not really ask yourself, what is the New World Order? Let's dig into it. What is this, man? Because that's what's going on here, man. I mean, all these presidents tie back down to Masonry. Even if they weren't a Mason directly themselves, it all ties back down to that. Okay. Again, guys, with this election, let's dial it back down to, the politics waste of fucking time mantra. All right. So, you guys remember with the Trump and all the election is rigged. Guys, let's back it up and rewind. There is no rigging. There's no rigging. Okay, and you may be wondering, what is he talking about? It was rigged. No. It was fake. The whole thing is a fucking show. This is why I said it's a waste of fucking time. Trump is playing both sides. They have to make it convincing for you to be like, oh yeah, they're trying to silence Trump. How dare they? Dude. It's all to generate that rage and pissed off within your spirit to go to another soul and push their division agenda of fuck you, endless, eternally. No compromise. That's what they want you to be in. You know what I'm saying? And just keep that in mind and keep your mind open to that. Keep your mind open to the psychological madness behind this, man. Okay. It's very hard to accept something different than what's being told for 40 plus years. That's been passed down since the cradle. Parent to parent to parent. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes down the line of generations. We rocking Overdrive. You know what I'm saying? We're rocking Overdrive right now. One of my favorite songs just came on. Alright. Or it didn't just come on, but I just noticed it was playing. But guys, I come on here and talk with you guys, just this podcast for you to listen in the background, or you ever want to see who's behind the voice, you know what I mean? Just keep your mind open to these possibilities, man. Keep your children safe, because you don't want your children to end up in another's world, man. Um, it's a very dangerous world if you're not careful and don't have the know-how to spot, what's really going on here, man. Because ultimately, we talk about this psychological attack, and it's going on a mass scale, man. And our children are the ones that are most susceptible to it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's evil to have your children hold a tablet, okay? But again, it's about technology. You know what I mean? What is your child delving into on that technological device? Are they looking at a Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform on that tablet that is feeding them something? Because again, guys, a Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform comes in various shapes and sizes. It could look like something from Disney. It could look like something that you wouldn't even think. This is where the no ways probably start seeping in, but you always gotta keep in mind for those possibilities. Keep that door, cracked for those ways, man. I'm telling you, because that's what these guys do, man. They target children, and you can influence the human mind in various ways by targeting the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is things that we do on an everyday basis, guys. Breathe. Okay, good soul, I'm gonna ask you now. Obviously, you're gonna start thinking about it now that it's being brought up. But on a day-to-day basis, do you ask yourself and delve deep down into when the next time you're going to breathe is? Unless you know that you need to hold your breath and take a deep breath when you delve in the water, right? But like when you jamming on StarCraft on that keyboard and you playing World of Warcraft on Discord with the homies, you're not thinking about when you gotta analyze when you gotta breathe. All right. Subconscious mind. Things could be happening and you're not even realizing it. Just the same reason why you could be playing World of Warcraft in Discord with the homies and not be consciously aware that you are taking breaths. I'm just gonna. It's a real. It's a reasonable thing. It's a question, right? When you know what I'm saying. When you doing certain things, like you know what I'm saying, or whatever, are you stop and think. Okay, I'm jamming and we jam with the homies on Discord and World of Warcraft and everything. But while we're doing that, we got to keep in mind, make sure to breathe. Subconscious mind. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. You have to keep in mind the possibilities. Okay. Keep that in mind, man. You don't, these basic things, right? That you do subconsciously, that you know you need to do, but you don't think about it. Those kinds of things we're talking about. And there's ways that can be played on the mind and used in negative ways, as we talk about any other tool. It's all about the users of the tool. And we ultimately know, the craft of this, who's crafted this little fucking fantasy land. You know what I mean? And that's Mr. Lucifer himself, with this new world order and trying to bring all this garbage in. And people not even realizing what's really going on. You know what I mean? And that's his whole goal. He wants to do it behind the scenes. Guys, Um, it's the same with witchcraft, and the same with, the individuals around me that are constantly watching me, because they don't want this. They think that, watching me and all this evil eye and making fun of stuff is gonna, like, stop me from doing Father's wonderful work, but, like, no, that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, as we even talked about earlier, people want to throw, you'd be surprised with this occult shit, man, and you'll see right off the bat, you know, of course the conditioning is gonna tell you, there's no such thing as witchcraft. Motherfuckers be out there weighing, getting ahead, doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, freely in the shadows, while you saying there's no way. Keep that in mind. So that's why we just call it out as we see it. You know what I mean? We're very well aware of what's going on, and we know that, there's people that don't want the fucking message getting out, or, and throw any kind of distractions your way, whether that be trying to send somebody, confusion, or just trying to throw them off, or just wishing the absolute worst for the person. You know what I mean? But we truly still say to those individuals, you've made your choice, and again, we just, justice will be served, there's no doubt about that. Um, and we just bid you, farewell and good day. I mean, I don't have any, there's no, like I said, guys, we get as the voice, we're the voice of the voiceless, man. We get our voice out to as many souls as possible. Because I mean, it's not a game. It's not a game. It's these things that you got to take into consideration, man. Of there's, we're beautifully created, man. Father exists. Okay, that's just straight up. Whatever you may believe in, man, but we'll throw that at you, man. And again, we talk about how technology is used. This is the whole reason with Lucifer wanting to try to bring and usher in his kingdom, is he doesn't want people to be happy. Doesn't want people to believe that they're wonderfully created. Wants to get his creation as far away from Father as possible. Just like what he does with the FDA. You know what I mean? The Food and Drug Administration. A lot lately, guys, be vigilant, because a lot of things that I've been seeing lately, I've been seeing a lot of FDA approved plastered everywhere. Alright? Like that's supposed to, put stock in the, and ease somebody's heart. No, dog. The Food and Drug Administration straight up lied about nicotine. So what makes you think that you put any fucking stock into FDA approved? Look at all the side effects from this FDA approved stuff. You fucking get one of these FDA approved products, and then you'll get one, it says it helps with this. You'll fix that problem, but then gain a whole fucking 5-10 problems. Hello. Something's not fucking adding up, man. Straight up. What the fuck? I had to experience that myself, man, in the days of, you know, giving antidepressants a try. You know what I'm saying? You end up getting the dizzy and wooziness. It's like, whoa, I'm trying to help out depression, right? Not ask for dizziness and wooziness. I am just gonna be real with you, you know. And yeah, in the past, your boys struggle with depression. You know, we're very open about, you know, certain things on True Secret Nation. You know, if they get brought up, but you know, that's not really the main focus. Because again, we made new around these parts. You know, and we want a very specific mission. You know, and yeah, you know, your boy is been through some things, right? But like, you know, always try to use those experiences and those roadblocks that I experience to maybe, you know, prevent another soul from having to go down that dreadful walk in that dreadful path that can tear one's soul apart. You know what I mean? If not careful and not with the correct guidance. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of time what ends up happening to some of these puppets when you got individuals like Kanye that say that Jesus wasn't there for them. But then, you know, it's those things, man. You know, that's when you end up getting, you know, the Lucifer treatment of guidance. You know, when it starts leading you down to, they want you to, you know, they want you to get entrapped in the matrix and just, you know, being so limiting, you know, limiting yourself, you know, making you, gassing you up on the idea of, oh yeah, I got all this paper that makes me better than somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You got motherfuckers over here thinking they gods and stuff, bro. Bunch of frauds, if you ask me. Cause man, look, dog, if you was a real true god, man, if you had any kind of divinity in you whatsoever, dog, you would not be plastering it and on people's fucking faces and talking about like, look at me and having all these blasphemous music videos going on. Alright? You know what you're doing. You the same in the same fucking camp as Lil Nas X and thinking that you're crafty with disrespecting Heavenly Father. Okay. Straight up. So that's all, man. We call it as it is, and if you start getting that Lucifer guidance, man, you'll get snagged so far in the wrong direction, man. It gets you in that psychological trap, man, of thinking that there's some kind of fucking glory into being in an illusion that you're better than somebody just because you are doing something you enjoy and serving the devil and pushing a fucking devilish agenda to millions of people and having more paper than somebody that is part of a Lucifer's kingdom. So that's what you guys got to take into consideration with some of this shit that you'll see in the music industry. I'm not saying that, you know, oh my god, all music is evil, but like, it's always good to have that discernment and to look at the top guys in that industry. You know what I mean? Look at some of the top guys. That's all you got to look at. And a lot of them are being exposed right now. You know what I mean? They're being exposed. They've been getting away with this crap for too long. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of this bullshit going on. Of mad disrespect and just flying around, you know, thinking you're just hitting innocent souls and shit for no repercussions and everything. And, you know, this is why we talk about, you know, we mentioned divine judgment, you know, about academics and the, you know, the scramble splaining, you know, just look at that, man, again, you know. It's things like that. You guys gotta, you know, just keep in mind, man. You know, there's possibilities. You know, even if you may not understand it, man. You know, all I'm gonna encourage you is to lean not on the understanding. All right, this is why we talk about go to Heavenly Father and talk and, you know, pray to Heavenly Father. You know what I mean? Pray. Okay. Because a lot of motherfuckers, as we know around here, we got to clarify that too, because a lot of motherfuckers around here be Preyn. Okay. Straight up. So, um, you got motherfuckers that like to stalk outside motherfuckers' windows while they doing fathers' good work. You know what I mean? Like trying to peek in and everything else and all this other bullshit. Thinking that that's what's supposed to scare somebody, but like, or, people that just want to peek in and just, peek in on areas of an individual's life that is none of your fucking business. But guys, we're gonna start wrapping it up. We hit the hour mark. Maybe some more information to get out. If that is the case, that will be done. But guys, again, it's it's one of those things to just keep in mind. I mean, we come on here. We're not trying to troll nobody, man. We're not trying to none of that shit, man. It's none of that kind of humor that's gonna be like, oh, gotcha. You are in the wrong direction now, type of shit. Like, it's all for a specific reason, for you to be aware of your health, man. You know what I mean? With this shot. That's all, man. That's what we talk about this stuff. And we easily draw the line on, we easily show you the door. You have to be the one to walk through it. And what I mean by show you the door, let's take for instance, I'm gonna show you. So we've already shown you the politics is a fucking waste of time door, right? We have shown you right there where you need to go to identify the fucking waste of time door, and that's Trump and Biden are both pushing the same shot, that the the Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform is silencing doctors saying it's not safe. So there is the politics is a fucking waste of time door right there. That's it. End of story. You know, if you have questions or doubts or anything, just look. There's the door. I mean, because again, it's the biggest medical scandal in history, man. It's a big crime, of what they're doing. So, again, I talk to my good souls in the States, but yeah, again, if you're not in the States, you guys, I'm pretty sure you individuals, maybe in Canada or in Scotland or where in the UK, wherever you're at, the ins and outs of what's going on with your world leader. You know what I'm saying, or ultimately a leader that's puppeteer. I'm just gonna be real with you. So, there's a reason this shit is glowing out on a global scale. Okay, it's not just United States of America. It's all across the globe. You know what I mean? This is why there's a lot of doctors in Scotland that are silenced. Again. So, that's all, guys. Keep your brain open. Keep the mind open to receiving new information that you weren't possibly aware of before. You know what I mean? But, yeah, guys, it's all just those things to think about, Again, man, the politics is a fucking waste of time door has been identified, and it's all right there for you to look at. You can look at the door and examine it. And what I mean by that is look at all the evidence surrounding that, make your own conclusion, and there you go, man. The very fact that doctors are even coming out saying it's not safe to begin with should already spark that and want you to open that door and peek through it a little bit and see what's really going on here. So, Um, that's all I'm saying, man. It's not a fucking joke. You know, us as individual families, we've been divided and separated because of something like this. Of people just not feeling safe over a simple matter of someone not feeling safe and getting that. You have individuals here that have been ostracized from their families, all because of the psychological manipulation that Lucifer has played on Father's creation. And it's really fucked up, man. It's really messed up. You know? That's Lucifer's New World Order, man. Division, fuck yous, 24 hours a day with no compromise, no answers, not getting to know truth, just arguments all day, grabbing chips and watching Masonic owned multimedia propaganda platforms all day and just being pissed off and arguing. I mean, it's the whole shebang, man. And it's not a good life, man. Because you're not getting the truth. You know what I mean? And that's what we talk about here, guys. And let's I'm gonna pin down some more Masonic owned multimedia propaganda platforms. And that's your main two ones that you guys always like to see, and that's CNN and Fox News, alright? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. A lot of you folks like to say that Fox is decent. No, that's still Masonic owned. It plays on a part. It's just a different psychological approach and a different psychological attack. Okay, that's all that is. If you go on CNN, it's just a different kind of psychological, deep-rooted attack. Versus if you go on Fox News, it's a different kind. This is why there's the fucking waste of time door. It's a fucking waste of time. Look elsewhere, man. Start looking at, other sources besides Masonic owned multimedia propaganda platforms. Okay. And whatever that looks like in your country, ask for Father's discernment on what that looks like. You know what I mean? I personally am talking about a lot of stuff that you encounter within the States, in the U.S. But again, like I said, we came across the Telegraph, and that was in UK, and I could tell you right off the bat, that was Masonic. That was a Masonic-owned multimedia propaganda platform. If you're looking at it from the very top on who owns that. Okay, so just keep it in mind, guys. And just be careful, man. When motherfuckers out here saying stay safe and stay healthy, I don't know about other souls out there, but when you come here to Truth Seeker Nation, we want you to stay safe and stay healthy. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason why we're talking about this. That's the whole reason why we, point and expose Lucifer's lies right off the bat. And just cut the head off at the snake. You know what I mean? So, guys, with that being said, again, here at True Secret Nation, we wish the very best for you. I appreciate you and taking the time, stopping by, and listening to this episode of True Secret Nation. Whether that be in the background or if you're doing something else while you're listening to me speak, I appreciate you and appreciate your time and you listening to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, guys, I love you so much. And, here at the Divine Ranch, we love Father's creation, okay? It's so big and bright and beautiful, and I love putting a smile on your face. So, I love you truly from the bottom of my heart. I hope you had a beautiful day today. And guys, again, here at True Seeker Nation as we signing out. This is True Seeker signing off of True Seeker Nation, featuring Cody's tail slashing across my face. Alright. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.